Good day, everybody. I hope that you are well and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 7 English lesson on Greek and Latin roots. All right. So, today, we'll be doing our grade 7 English lesson on Greek and Latin roots, and this is a continuation on our previous lesson on Greek and Latin roots, right? So before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts. Grade 7. All right, so we see that this is a continuation of our previous lesson on Greek and Latin roots. So we are going to, so our chapter is Greek and Latin roots. Our subject is English Language Arts, grade 7. And the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of Greek and Latin roots is to determine the meanings of Greek and Latin roots. All right. So this is a continuation of our previous lesson on Greek and Latin roots, and we spoke about how basically roots we can use a or how roots of a word, right? How we can determine that roots in order to make meaning of other words, right? And how we can make meaning of other words by using the same root word, right? So when it comes to a root, we say that a root is a part of a word that has a certain meaning. This is a root, which is a part of a word that has a certain meaning. And words that share the same root, they often have similar meanings that are related to the meaning of roots. All right. So we say that words that share the same roots, they often have similar meanings or almost the same meanings. And these roots that are almost the same, they are related to the meaning of the root. All right. So we see that the root is a part of a word that has a certain meaning, right? And words that share the same roots, they often have similar meaning that are related to the meanings of roots. And here we have a root word bal. And this root word bal means war. So it means war. And remember now they said that once we have a root word, whatever words or letters we add onto that to make another word, right, will have either a related meaning to the word war in this case because our root word is going to be bell, right? So our root word is bell. So now a rebel, and there we have bell in it. So a rebel is a person who rises up in armed opposition to the government, and that is a rebel. So it's a person who rises in opposition or armed resistance against government or against a leader. Another word for rebel or another meaning for rebel would be where you resist authority, you resist control, right? You just don't want to be told. That is a rebel. It's like a resistant to something. If we look at our next word, right, it means belligerence. There we have bal in that word. Belligerence. And belligerence is the antebellum era. So belligerence, sorry, is a tendency to seek out or engage in conflict and hostility. So it's where we seek out to or engage in conflict and hostility. So that is the word belligerence. And as you can see, we also have the word bell within that word. So belligerence. And another word or another meaning for the word belligerence, it's like either where you, it's like it can, I think it's like aggression or being aggressive. It's like somebody who engages in war or constant conflict, right? That is belligerence or someone that is belligerent. And now the last one is in the United States, the antebellum era refers to the period before the Civil War. Antebellum. And this refers to the era before the war, before the Civil War. And the word antebellum, right? It literally means before the war. That is what it means, before the war. Because if we were to break up that two word, right, and first write anti and then write bellum, then it would mean before war, or before the war. Right? And if we look at all three of these words, right, which is rebel, belligerence, antebellum, all three of these words is related to the meaning or the concept of war. And as you can see, our root bal means war. And that is why we said when it comes to the root words, roots are part of a word that has a certain meaning. And they have words that share the same root. They often have similar meanings that are related to the meaning of the roots. And here we have an example of that. So all three, which is rebel, belligerence, and antebellum, all of these words, all three of that words, or their meanings are related to the concept of war or aggression or conflict. Right? All right. So now, if you look at another example, it says you can also use your knowledge of roots to figure out the meaning of words that you haven't seen before. For example, if we look at the root called bena, the root word bena, then the root word bena means good. And then we also have the root word fek. And the root word fek means to do or make. So now, if we look at both of that root words, right, bena and fek, and now we look at the word benefactor. It's like we put the two words together, benefactor. And a benefactor is a person who helps others by contributing money or contributing aid, right? Which means that that person who does it, he or she does good for others. And if you look at the word bena means good. Fact means you are doing something or you're making something, right? And if you put that two words together, which means benefactor, and a benefactor is a person who helps others by either contributing money or contributing aid, right? And that means that he or she does good for others. Bena, you do good. And fact is like you're doing something, right? All right. So now again to our activity. We need to find out which root means bad or evil. That is what we're going to find out. Which root means bad or evil? And if we were to look at a word that means the root word that means bad or evil, and then it says we need to think of words that contain one of the provided roots that have to do with the meaning either bad or evil, right? Like words like malady and dismal, right? So both that word malady, is it malady or malady, and dismal or dismal, both that words they contain the root mal, right? And this root mal have to do with a feeling like bad feelings. And if that root word tells us it's something to do with bad feelings, right? And then it means that the root word or the root of that word is bad or evil. So mal means bad or evil. All right. If we look at another example, right, of a root word and its meaning, they say that we need to look at the words that contains one of the provided roots that have to do with morning star. For example, the word astronomy and the word astronaut. So the word astronomy and the word astronaut. So words like astronomy and words in astronaut, they both contain the root astro. And the root astro means star. Astro means star. All right. So now let's go to our test, right? Where we are going to determine the meaning of the Greek and Latin roots. We need to say which root means shape. Which root means shape? Is it number one or option one, which is morph, or option two, which is rupt? The word that means shape. Is it morph, or is it shape? And if we look at that specific word, right? All right. And if we look at the root word, we can say option one, which is move. So move is to do with a shape, mainly like a screen, but yeah, a shape. Which root means small? Which root means small? Min or mal? Small, min or mal? And if we were to find the root word of the word small, and then we can say min, because it's to do with minimum, minimal, right? It's to do with min. It's the minimum of something. It's the minimal of something. What does the root geo mean? Geo, is it to do with earth or rock? Or geo is the study of something? The root geo. So the root geo, is it to do with earth or rock? Or the study of something? So we need to say, what does the root geo mean? Is it earth or rock? Or the study of something? I think it is to do with earth or rock. Yes, so geo is to do with earth, or it is to do with rock. All right, let's do the next one. It says, what does the root junk mean? The root junk. So, what does the root junk mean? Junk. Is it to go or yield or to join? So to go or yield or to join. So do we say it is go or yield or it is to join? And if we were to choose the correct option, we would say that the root word junk, it means to either connect or it means to join. All right. The next one says the root means go or yield. Is it seed or is it junk? So we now need to say which root means go or yield. So which root means go or yield? So we need to say what does go or yield mean? The root of that word. Is it seed or is it junk? So if we look at the word, we have the word seed and we have the word junk. Junk means to join, right? Or it means to reconnect. And if you look at the word seed, right, then seed is actually to give up that power or the territory. I think, let's see. Yeah, so seed is correct then. All right, the last one, there we go on to the last lesson. It says, what does the root dict mean? So the word dict, is it to say or declare, or is it empty? It's like dict. I dictate that or something. And we can say that dict means either way you're saying something, you're speaking something, or you're declaring something. All right. Now we're going on to the last lesson. under Greek and Latin root, which is to determine the meaning of words with Greek and Latin roots. All right. So this is basically just everything that we had spoken again about root words and what a root word is, which is a part of a word that has a certain meaning. And we say that the words that share the same roots, they often have similar meanings that are related to the meaning of roots. And we made examples of the word bel, which means war. So we made mention of the root word bel. Bel means war. And we looked at words similar, right? Or words with that share the same root word that have the similar meanings or similar related meanings to the meaning of the root word, like rebel, belligerence, and antebellum. And all three of the words is to do with war. All right. So now we're going to a test where we're going to determine the meaning of words with Greek and Latin roots. So we now need to say, what does the word malady mean? Is it an illness? Malady. Is it an illness or a debate? And if we look at the word malady, we can say it is either an illness, or we can say it's like a disease, or it's like some form of problem, like an ailment that you have. Right? That is what the word malady means. What does the word contradictory mean? So, contradictory, is it combining two opposite parts into one? Or is it disagreeing with something that has been asserted? And contradictory, we can say, is I think is it's disagreeing, sorry, because it's to do with coming together, being mutually opposed by certain things, right? So, which means that the second option was actually correct. I apologize. We need to find out what does the word synchronize mean? Synchronize. So the word synchronize. Synchronize. We need to say, is it to arrange for things to be moved away, or to arrange things to happen at the same moment? So the word synchronize, synchronize, it means it's it's almost like you're operating at either the same time or the same rate. So it's something that happens at the same time or at the same rate, which means that it will be option two, to arrange things to happen at the same moment. So things to happen at the same moment, and that is synchronized. Things to be happening at the same time or at the same moment. All right. We need to look at the word. There we have the word bellicose. So bellicose or bellicose? So bellicose. Let's just say the word is bellicose. And if you look at that word bell, that has the word bell in it, which means bell means war, right? So if bell means war, so now we need to try and figure out what does that word mean. So if bell means war, then I'm sure that this word probably means hostile. Because remember we said that the root words, right? You can share the same root word, but then the meanings of your word, all all of that meaning of the word kind of means the same thing. Yes, and bellicose is to do with being hostile, wanting to fight, right? Showing aggression. That is what bellicose means. So now we need to also say, what does the word recede means? The word recede. Does the word mean to look backward, the backward, or does the word means to move back? So to look back or to move back. And if we look at the word recede, recede, we said it is either to look forward or to move back. And if we were to choose the correct option, we would say to move back, to recede, to move back, or go further away. All right, let's do the last one. What does the word adjunct mean? Adjunct. All right, and adjunct, if we look at the word adjunct, so we need to say if adjunct is something that is added to another thing or something that was harmful effects. And if we were to look at the meaning of the word adjunct, then we can say it's something that is added to another thing. All right, so now this is the end of our lesson on Greek and Latin roots, right? And we say when it comes to Greek and Latin roots, we can have a root word, and then that one root word and its meaning might mean something. And then with the root word, you might have any other words, right, that shares the same root word, and then the meanings of those words are similar. So this is now the end of our lesson. Thank you very much, grade 7, for joining the class, and I really hope that you're going to have a good day further. Goodbye.